The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, squeezably soft host. Once more, do we go into the breach, dear friends?
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So what do we have going on today? Finally getting here. Okay. We're up 2809 on the S&P cash, up 42 on the Dow. Nasdaq's up 47 off of after being down about 60 pre-market. Not surprising. This market really looks to me, as we've talked over the last week, that we want to go up there and test around 2845, 2840 this week. So that's only 30 points. That wouldn't be a big deal to do in one day. Tomorrow, we've got earnings both tonight and in the morning, and tomorrow night through Thursday. So could find those anywhere in here. One of the reasons why I suspect that we're going to go higher is saw a bunch of people shorting yesterday. In fact, a lot of people diving in on the put side of the VIX. And that kind of told me everything I needed to know, and that is that markets tend to go higher until the shorts quit shorting because they just get run out a few days later. People diving in once more, telling everybody the end was nigh. Got a fairly decent reversal today anyway. There isn't a lot of volume, but in the summertime, sometimes you see these light volume moves higher. I am long. Nothing in the short-term newsletter. I've got 3 long-term positions that are doing well. I suspect I'm going to make some decent money before the end of this week on some options that I've been tracking. Those probably won't present themselves, or those opportunities won't show themselves probably until tomorrow or maybe even Thursday. So it's going to be kind of the end of the month. Could I see a scenario where 2845 gets tested and we close back Friday at 2800? Yes. But my guess is that you need to see 2840 tested this week if you are on the bearish side of the market. But even then, we may even go higher. When you look at the numbers that Fed Chairman Powell showed out this morning, second quarter, at least from what he's saying, is extremely strong in the United States. There's not any kind of weakness out there that anybody can see. Economic activity was good, and not if first quarter was good, this was BOFO, BFO, BOFO, BFO, was huge. That slowly started to turn the narrative of the end of the world because Netflix was basically focused on international and forgot to look at its roots over here in the United States, where its biggest business was. As I said before on Netflix, not surprising that they went down, but when you look at, well, I guess we'll look at a chart of it here a little bit. But one of the things you will see that if you were some kind of algorithmic trader, you would have noticed that buying Netflix in the second quarter was the easiest way to make money. Going long Netflix in the second quarter before the results to the day after in the last 4 years would have lost you 96% or almost everything you put in. So second quarter, pretty horrible almost always for Netflix. I think a lot of people are looking past that right now. What do we have for NFLX? 378.40 is the last tick I see here. But that's kind of it. And it's a one-off. It doesn't really attach itself to a lot of other companies. It's not like having Apple say the end is nigh and seeing the other 12 companies that supply them all go and jump off a cliff like lemmings. The only one close to it is Amazon. And of course, Amazon actually doing fairly well on its PR parade today for its Amazon days. Amazingly enough, on this day in 1995, Amazon opened in a two-car garage attached to Mr. Bezos's house. Okay, so what else do we have going on? Well, let's get a little history out of the way. Then we'll start looking. I got a lot of charts to look at. Feeling good today. It's been a beautiful day. Got a little time in the pool. Couldn't be any better in Florida.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
I'm going to Disneyland. Walt Disney Metropolitan, can't even say today. Metropolitan of Nostalgia, Fantasy, and Futurism opens on July 17th, 1955. $17 million theme park was built on 160 acres of former orange groves in Anaheim, California. Soon brought staggering profits. Today, Disneyland hosts more than 14 million visitors a year who spend close to $3 billion annually. I went there in would have been the summer of 1970 because we were coming back from Hawaii. Never been on anything that took us more than 10 minutes to get anywhere. In fact, I think we went to another island and it was 10 minutes on the airplane to get to the other island. Never actually stood on the continental United States until mid-1970s. But it was interesting. I enjoyed it. I remember my only real big strong memory was my dad had bought a 1965 Cadillac two-door Coupe de Ville, like 472 engine in it or something massive. And all I can remember was that we were doing about 120 across the desert in it, and the thing was just floating. I thought, this car's going to just absolutely catch some air and start flying. But tires didn't blow, and I'm still alive. But that's the one thing I remember about that, going through the desert. And there was no horse with no name either. So that's it. Disneyland got its start today, and 1955. But not much else is going on that. Anyway, as we look at what else is going on, we'll talk a little bit about gold today. As I said, got a lot of charts out here. Crude not doing much, but of course gold off about $11. Maybe a little bit more to that. We'll bring that up. We'll talk about earnings. Got a few more after the bell tonight and in the morning. I think we're probably looking forward to those earnings now. They all kind of looked fairly good to me. So maybe they don't go much higher, but they probably aren't going lower or anything significant. Anyway, the Goldilocks scenario for the economy continues on, at least according to Mr. Powell this morning. We'll be back in a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Going to take a couple looks at some charts here. You can always give me a call at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can always drop a note in the den. Okay. Had somebody ask me, I think after the bell or after the show about Adobe, and it had kind of a little reversal yesterday, but again, no volume. Yeah, are the volumes light off this around June 25 low on most of the stocks? The answer is yes. Did you test previous highs on lighter volume? Yes. But it's expiration week, and all these stocks are looking forward to earnings. I don't think that they're going to fall off anytime soon. This one's the same. You got a little light volume so far. You want to see this thing come back in, but earnings, I think it's September on Adobe, if I'm not mistaken. So this one may hang up a little bit longer than the rest, unless the market does get some kind of surprise out of earnings. But I think even you can even say Netflix's move wasn't much of a surprise. As I said, last 3 or 4 years, second quarter's always been weak. I'm not wouldn't be long Netflix other than for a day trade, but do think it's kind of interesting that the reversal from 342, I think was the low this morning, to back over 385 right around lunchtime. Let's see some of the other stocks that are interesting to me. Aetna Life Insurance actually had more volume, and actually about the same on the way up and the way down to this April 2nd low. So not telling you a lot, but you did test the January 29th high at 193.90 that had 2 3/4 million shares with almost 5 million shares June 16th. So a little bit of a opposite candle today on light volume, and a kind of a move down sooner But there are a lot of these stocks just hanging at highs, as I've said many times, sometimes over this show. One of the great market timers that was on TFNN in the early 2000s was Tim Ord. He talked a great deal about how stocks hanging at highs, even with light volume, probably going to pin and pop over those highs. So, if they hang out there a long time, just figure that maybe they're going to go ahead and spike at least one day. If you have a light volume spike, then maybe pull the trigger there short. But for the most time, these things are going to go higher, and you want to give them a little time before you pull the trigger on them short. Man, this is one. I don't know much about this Alder Biopharma. This thing's banging against 19. A couple days ago had some fairly light volume, and it's really going up against a 15 million share high from January 9th. That I'll need to look at a little harder tonight. Some of the stocks out here that are making this is kind of a penny stock that I thought was kind of interesting. It's breaking down below, though, the June 13th low, $1.41. We got down to $1.34 today, 400,000 shares compared to 3.2 million shares. BG, this is Bungie, actually trying to find some decent support around the $68 level. You had a spike into it on June 15th, came back on the 3rd and the 5th of this month with a little reversal railroad track pattern, went up a little higher, came back down to it. But you want 2.5 million shares. Yesterday you got 1.1 million shares. Today, a little higher out here on 460,000 shares so far. But you may want to check in on that by the end of the day. Baker Hughes Corporation, of course, this is part of GE. Question is that when they spin it out, how much are they going to steal out of it for General Electric? How much can they steal out of it? But as far as retracements, looks fairly decent out here. You're into a fairly large consolidation range that goes down to 31 bucks. You got to 31.99 today and back into that area. I don't know a whole lot about the inside the business part of Baker Hughes and what they do in crude. I do look religiously at their numbers for oil rigs in Canada, the United States, and Mexico each Friday at about 1 o'clock. And I have to say that I continue to be almost gobsmacked by just how much drilling's going on in Canada. And maybe that's to start supplying that new pipeline that goes all the way down there. I don't know when that's going to be done. But certainly drill, baby, drill is the operative word in Canada these days. Let's get rid of that here. Century Aluminum actually could be a buy down here. You went below the previous low yesterday. You did so on 1.2 million shares compared to the 6.9 million shares back on May 4th. So there is more going on out here than you would think. But for every good stock, there's sometimes another bad stock. And when everything looks bad, there's some good stocks. This looks very interesting. Cliffs Natural Resources, Continental Resources, a few of these resources companies, kind of interesting also. 2.7 million shares on June 19th. We're getting into that on lighter volume and a pullback in CLR, which always makes me think of Cliffs Natural. That's another symbol. But a fairly nice little test back here in the support area at 60. And we have some people asking about gold. Let's go ahead and look at GLD. This is finally back to a fairly long-term gap. That gap is at about 117 to 116. This goes back to where? Gapped up on July 14th, 2017. So we're almost a year out of that gap up that started this kind of topping pattern. I said I would answer what I thought about in gold. One of the bigger market timer ladies who my niece is running around. She saw her on television today and screamed. She's kind of a scary looking lady, but has kind of been the axe. I forget her name now, but she's been kind of the axe in and on gold for a while. Called for it to come down below 1250 a month ago. Seems to at least be rallying some of the people on financial cable television, but now calling for 1200, and I think that's putting a little bit on here. 114.80 is the previous low. I don't think this gap is going to hold. Your next opportunity is that 114.80 from July 7th, 2014, so a little over a year ago, right there at that 114.80. You had 11 million shares. Today, volume a little lighter. We'll talk about what I would love to see in gold for it to make some kind of meaningful medium to long-term low. But I don't think you're going to like it if you're loving gold now. We'll be back in a minute.
The Path of Least Resistance, David White's daily market letter, gives you trade recommendations based on David's proprietary Power Law Vector indicator that put the odds of success overwhelmingly in your favor. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price for each stock and option trade. David combines his years of trading experience along with his background in technology and computing to offer his subscribers his take on the markets on a daily basis. Every trading day by 9:30, David publishes his morning issue of The Path of Least Resistance, along with updates sent out throughout the week whenever there is new actionable trading information. All new subscribers receive a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. To sign up for David White's daily trading newsletter right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're looking at gold here. And again, why I'm not going to scream about a particular level in gold. I do want to talk about gold traders. And when I normally buy is when no one is willing to talk about gold anymore. No more phone calls, no more telling me how well the miners are holding up. I want people to be so utterly disgusted with it that they don't want anything to do with it. That normally is the great time to buy gold. And, and I still see cable financial news stations talking about gold and miners. I know that TFNN, we talk about gold a lot more than probably any other place around. So not a good subset, but I keep seeing gold talk on CNBC today and Fox Financial Business Network and Bloomberg as I quickly tuned through them this morning. I want nobody to be interested in it again. I will always remember that it spent 10 years going nowhere from 1990 to 2000. And if it did it before, it can do it again. But I think you got to have that right kind of condition, and maybe it comes back. But I think trying to always pick the next $10, $20 move in gold seems, at least for me, a little bit too, I don't know, tiring. I'm looking for the next huge move like we had in 2001. Maybe we won't get one that big, but still looking for something bigger instead of something smaller. Anyway, you're at least getting back into some levels out here that are going to tell you what's going on in gold. But that neck test in this gap right here, 114.80 in the GLD. And ideally, I'd love to see gold, go down maybe $50 intraday and close back up flat. And really see that there's some level of strength in buying this once everybody's been washed out. I just don't see much of that right now. So too many people still interested, too many people still thinking it can go higher. I'd like it to just get rid of all the weakest hands in the market. But I don't always get what I want. The S&P 500 had somebody email me about what I'm looking for. And it's this gap down that I think we're headed for this week. That is the gap down from January 20th, or excuse me, 30th of this year. This gap down with, what is that? What was the open up here? 2832. That's about the bottom of that. Up to, what was the close on that? 2853. I'm figuring that somewhere in there, the real bears, the big shot bears on Wall Street will look at about 28.45 to start shorting the end of the world. And, if you're making a bet, not a bad place to plant your flag. Unfortunately, I think after a little bit of shorting there, the next move back up will be that 28.72 high, where you're probably going to actually see a real test, and maybe it's on vastly lighter volume, but my guess is that we will see that retest of 28.72 probably before the end of the summer. Question is just how long does it take for shorts to capitulate at that 28.45 when they start dumping everything they can, predicting the end of the world, and that's it. And I've got to say that if I could start seeing a lot of segments in the economy that are much weaker, I'd probably feel that way. The market kind of is ignoring trade disputes. So, well, are you smarter than the market? I don't think so. At least I don't think I'm smarter than the market. It's kind of telling me right now that those things are going to get worked out. So we have to look at that. That still tells me, though, that if I was a long-term bear on Wall Street and had millions and billions of dollars, if I was going to plant my flag, 28.45 is around where I would want to be looking at. Okay, let's go back and look at some of these other ones. DVAX, Dynavax Technologies. Let's read more about this company so I don't tell you wrong. Looked at it this morning and I've already forgotten. Biopharmaceutical company focusing on the leveraging the power of the body's innate and adaptive immune responses Hepatitis B, other things. This thing looks like it's got some fairly decent support at the $15 range. You gapped up almost a year ago, 31st of July, did so with 23.1 million shares, tested it with 2.7 million shares. That was on January 16th. You come back into that with about 1 million shares. So about $15 looks like outrageously decent support in DVAX. Take a look at IBB real quick and see what it's saying. It's back up against its resistance levels. You went into the January 29th high at 119.30 2 days ago and did so with a little more volume, actually, about 4.2 million shares. So you're going to get a retest of the 119.30, and I suspect at least go over that. Energy is about the same up and down on biotech. So this may just be a bigger trading range. My guess, though, is this is going to turn around and be one of the stronger sectors this year. And it's actually just starting to go that way. What else do we have? Google hanging out at its highs, a little nice little move up to 1203 today. Again, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on various technical subjects, mostly machine learning, and I am getting ads absolutely crammed down my throat, ads within ads almost. And I'm wondering at one point, when does this backfire? So far, no big sign of this. You needed 1.4 million shares from the January 29th high of this year. A little less charitable would be 2 million shares. You got 1 million so far today. 1.4 million is really what you're looking for. So keep an eye on that. And that is the January 29th high. So we want to see how that closes out today. Continuing to take a look at Turtle Beach and whether or not we've got any kind of sign of this parabolic move starting to crest. Nothing yet today. Volume actually picked up a little bit on the move higher yesterday. And again, I'm seeing more of that. So I think that some of these stocks that seem to be up on nothing are probably going to continue up on nothing for at least a few more days. What's this one? Intelsat. This thing has been running from $2.44. That's the February 6th low. If I'm looking for something to fall apart, this could be it. The reason why is, of course, Elon Musk is going to go up against it the next few years with his system. It's pretty much going to smack this one around. Kind of surprised this thing has run as high as it has, but you know, keep a close eye on this one. This is one that easily can go back to $2.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks. Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
PayPal coming up on earnings next week. Ron from Boynton Beach wanted to know what this looked like. This is July 25th. So what is that? That's next Wednesday. We're a week away from earnings. PayPal hanging up these highs. You had a 15 million share high, 86.32. That was back on January 31st, as we're talking about all these highs right around in January before the market headed down. We're kind of going through those now. You had 7 million shares on the 12th of this month. You kind of pulled back. You're up today on 3.6 million shares. My guess is, though, that you continue to hang out around these levels. And, of course, if this thing even hits 90 and closes in 90 for one day, you're probably looking about 100, 105 in the stock before it quits running. Energy off this low May 3rd, not all that exciting. But, again, probably just hanging on for earnings a week from tomorrow. Question about Microsoft. MSFT made a good deal with Walmart, which is kind of a little unexpected. Both kind of teaming up against Amazon. You got a little pop out here, but not a great deal. I was actually expecting this maybe to pull back a little bit toward 100. It's continuing its move higher. It doesn't seem like a lot of people are willing to sell it. 16 million shares so far today. That's compared to 22 million shares yesterday and 25 million shares the day before. So you're going to have a little less volume. 105 is kind of where this thing looks like it's getting ready to pull back to. So maybe $1.50 lower. But as long as the market holds up, I don't see anybody going to the counter and checking out of Microsoft anytime soon. I think that when it does start mulling back, it's going to come back to $100. It needs to consolidate a bit at these levels, but I don't have any sign that that is going to happen tomorrow or the next day, but probably hoping fairly soon. What else do we have out here? Jobs. JOBS. This is I think it's a Chinese internet company, coming back to its breakout back on May 4th. That came up with 500,000 shares, down with 227,000 shares yesterday, and kind of light volume today. Let me read the profile on this one too. That is, provides integrated human resources services as the People's Republic of China. The company offers recruiting, advertising services, including online recruiting services through its websites comprising 51job.com a handful of other ones that I can't pronounce. And can you say? Lots of people of Republic of China stuff. Not big on buying any kind of Chinese company, but hey, maybe it's a sign that China is going to be doing a little bit better in the near future too. PXLW, Pixelworks. Now, this one's a very nice pattern. Going back to the breakout of the 3rd of February of last year, excuse me. So about a year and a half ago now, went up on 27 or 2.7 million shares. Now coming back down here with 238,000 shares. So pretty nice patterns. I like that it came off the April 2nd low up to the April 16th high at 462 and come back to these levels. Let's take a quick look at this one too and see what it does. How much time we got? We got plenty of time today. Give me a call at 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com. Intellectual property core software and custom application. Video processing semiconductors. Able covered all devices and video decompression chips. Basically what these guys do. Nice pattern out here. 350 looks kind of where you'd want to be in this, but nice little pattern. And of course, you're looking for these internet companies, these penny companies, to kind of run before before the market's done running higher. Let's go back here and look at some other ones. I want to see what else is on my list. What was it that I wanted to look at? SWKS. Okay. Again, just triangular patterns in a lot of these companies surrounding Apple. Nothing to really write home about. You did have a nice move in Skyworks Solutions today, but not a lot of juice. You had 4 days going sideways, a nice little pop, although it kind of opened up a little lower. It's just kind of enclosed the last 4 trading days back up to the 102.10 high. This did get back to 85.81 back on April 30th. So you've been kind of higher out here. You would probably like to see a retest of 95.05, but you may not get it. That may have been it. Although smartphone business probably not going to take off again until probably close to the end of the first quarter of next year, something like February or March, I suspect is going to be when this thing's really going to get going. Okay, let's take another one. Let's take a quick look at Avago. Of course, this one fell apart when they announced that they were going to be losing at least 20% of their sales to Apple, although I don't think they identified Apple by name. This did kind of get crunched back here on the 12th. Just going sideways here so far. I don't know if this may be one of the first ones that falls apart if we are starting to pull back to lower prices in the near future. Don't see a lot going on out here. You do have a little bit of a move back higher off this floor at about 200, but you know what? All these companies have been doing or let me put it this way, a lot of companies like this, like Broadcom and others, AVGO, it's just been too many acquisitions too soon. Oh, that's actually what this one was about, excuse me. I'm starting to lose my mind these days. But is there a whole lot of to come back into this and see it back, at least maybe close that gap above 240? It probably can, but again, I think this one's going to be, or all these in this sector, including Apple. In fact, let's take a look at Apple here before the break. These things, if they're a weak company in the semiconductor space, it is Apple and all its suppliers. 172 is probably likely. We didn't quite test the high of June 7th, which was 194.20 in Apple. Got 192.65. But if these are going to start rolling over, the entire market's going to start rolling over. We need a few more tests of these highs. I suspect we get to 194.20 in Apple, maybe $200 before this thing rolls back down. Your target would be about 172 when that does happen. We'll be back in a minute.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
A Rubik's Cube offers more than 100 million starting positions, resulting in 43 billion potential twists and turns. Yet this puzzle can be solved in 20 moves. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, and knowing the right move makes all the difference in the world. And on Thursday, July 19th at 4:15 p.m., I'll share with you the 3 essential tools behind my #1 ranking by Timer Digest for the S&P 500. This 30-minute event is being hosted by Ninja Trader, and it's open to everyone in our listening audience. At this event, I'll share with you the Rhodes Momentum Indicator signal that subscribers now use to identify tops and bottoms, as well as Stevie's red line and the market profiles that I use. The sign-up link is on the homepage of TFNN.com and requires nothing more than your name and email address. To help celebrate my #1 market timing ranking, we're making Mastering Probability available to anyone in our listening audience for the next 30 days with a free money-back guarantee, whether you've subscribed in the past or not. Make your move now by coming to the homepage of TFNN.com and sign up for Thursday's workshop, as well as my free newsletter trial offer.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And question about the weed stocks, Cron and CGC. All these stocks look like they're ready to come back and test the previous lows. I think you got the signal, GWPH, when GWPH came out with earnings, or not earnings, with news, and the thing sold off all the way back down to 130.50 on June 28th. You're basically now doing and setting up ABC down, I suspect. So it's just, I think, too many people wanting to get into it. And of course, these stocks are all thin, so it's kind of easy to move it. A lot of people made a lot of money fairly quickly. My guess, though, is that you could easily, let's see the expansion out here. Okay. GW Pharmaceuticals. I think you want to get back down to the bottom of this gap, going back to 416. I think that you'd probably have a better setup if they did come back to this 118.28, which is on GW Pharma, which is really the only legal stock in this entire sector, and probably be the one that I would pick out of it instead of the less expensive semi-legal or maybe totally illegal stocks. I don't know. I'm not an attorney. I just play one on television. But if I wanted to be in this business, I think I would opt for safety. That safety would probably come with an FDA approval like GW Pharma had. Of course, that stock sold off on that news fairly hard. Like I said, 130.50 is the last test. You get one more test about one in that area of very light volume. That could be the low in those weed stocks. Absolutely 118.24. That's where you probably want to plant your flag. Get down there, the other stocks all lose volume. That's probably the pinnacle of finding some lows in that sector. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to, and we will see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com, educating investors.